I think the 30-year mortgage is the way to go because it gives you more access to capital to do some life things.
How a 30-year loan can actually save you a lot more money than a 15-year.
How carrying a 30-year mortgage will provide you with over $500,000 more in your retirement.
It's always better, in most cases, to do a 30-year or the longer term.
But for the average person who doesn't have so much money, and it does matter, you definitely want to think about reinvesting those funds. Let's get back to what this guy is talking about.
Never buy a house on more than a 15-year mortgage. Absolutely crazy. Don't do that.
If you just got a 15-year instead of a 30-year, you would have saved $120,000.
That's absolutely true. It'll save you that much. But what they don't tell you is that this is costing you almost $500,000 in retirement by following this silly process.
Excuse me? A baking powder?
They're committing financial manslaughter. And if you've fallen for this, it's okay, I have too. Let me show you the journey of two people. They're both 35. They both buy the same $300,000 house and assume the same down payment, the same appreciation on the house, a low interest rate of 5%. This is Lloyd. He's a limo driver, and when he buys his home, he gets a 30-year mortgage and he pays $1,288 a month. He doesn't listen to Dave Ramsey. He's perfectly fine with having some low interest debt. This is Mary. She listened to Dave Ramsey, got a 15-year mortgage with a payment of $1,897 a month, which was $609 more than what Lloyd was paying for the same building. At the age of 65, both of them have a house that's paid off, and based on 3% appreciation rate, both houses are worth over $700K. Remember, they both bought the exact same house. Lloyd ends up paying just over $223,000 in interest. Yikes. While Mary pays less than half that, a little over $101,000. Which is a big amount of money saved. But here's the key they don't tell you. If Mary would have just invested that extra money, not got a 15-year mortgage, and put it into the stock market that typically returns 10% per year, she could have ended up with Lloyd's money.
No way!
Lloyd had a 30-year mortgage. He had over $600 a month that he could invest into the market at a higher rate of return. And the results are astonishing.
Are you messing with me right now?
Because Mary was so busy paying off her house, she didn't start saving until 50 when her house was paid off. So she ended up putting about $1,900 a month into her savings account and could only save for retirement from age 50 to 65. And at a 10% return, she ends up with around $720,000. And Lloyd, who started saving much earlier, remember, he was saving that extra $600 a month and he did it for 30 years. He ends up having a little over $1.2 million.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with this take. I like the flexibility. It gives you, a 30-year mortgage gives you flexibility in life, meaning that like if you're not like a multimillionaire and you need money to do other things, you have the option of not necessarily needing to pay down your house all the time. And then even though the stock market is down now at the making of this video, historically it returns 10%. And I don't need to rehash it, right? We could just take a look at the math. You can actually do more with your money and invest it and get a 10% return as opposed to putting all your money in the house and not getting that 10% return, which gives you more money in retirement. And so based off just this one video so far, my take is, yes, I'm getting a 30-year mortgage on the house that I'm purchasing. And yes, to me, 30-year mortgages are the best, unless you just have so much money it doesn't even matter. But for the average person who doesn't have so much money, and it does matter, you definitely want to think about reinvesting those funds. Another area that they didn't mention here that I think is key to talk about is your side hustle, or what you're doing to make money outside of just your main job, right? So I have a podcast. I also have like a sales training company. And how do I fund all that stuff? I fund it out of my own pocket. With that said, taking on a 15-year mortgage and taking on a higher rate doesn't allow me the capital to be able to create podcasts and videos like this because I wouldn't have any freaking money to do it. Or I'd have less to invest and grow my business. So that's another reason why it's always good to have liquid capital. And since real estate is such a big investment, I would say go with the 30-year. Don't waste that money, right? Don't go to Aspen. Don't buy a Lambo. Don't just blow it. But now you have capital to actually try to secure your freedom and actually try to do something for yourself, is get your side hustle off the ground where you can make residual income or part-time income or passive income, or just have another income stream that you don't have to, that isn't necessarily tied to you having to make a ton of money. Olivia, like, what do you think? I mean, I know we live in, you know, you've already told me about Vancouver, and I'm sure Britain or England isn't any cheaper. I think the 30-year mortgage is the way to go because it gives you more access to capital to do some life things, and allows you the flexibility that if you come into like a big check, then you can easily just put that on the principal, right? It doesn't, picking up a 30-year still allows you to pay off your mortgage early if you come into money, but if you don't, you're not in the position where you can't do other things. Hopefully, and some of that stuff's investing, but I'm curious on your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the same page as you. I think, well, it's great to pay off your mortgage within 15 years. I do think that 30 gives you a bit more flexibility. You know, we were kind of talking earlier about how, what if something comes up, you know, money-wise, it gives you that flexibility where you can, even if you, let's say, get a lot of money, you can put it in. Yeah, I would definitely go 30 if it were me buying a house.
Yeah, no, same.